Here's why Ser Criston Cole betrayed Rhaenyra during Aegon's coronation. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you love House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and deep dives into Westerosi lore. Let's begin. The betrayal that shaped a war. When you think of betrayal in the world of House of the Dragon, few moments are as pivotal or as shocking as Ser Criston Cole's turn against Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. Once her sworn protector and rumored lover, Criston's decision to crown Aegon II and stand against Rhaenyra during the Green's coup became one of the defining sparks of the Dance of the Dragons. But why did Criston Cole, known as the Kingmaker, switch sides? Was it loyalty, resentment, or something far more personal? In this video, we're diving deep into the political chessboard, the broken relationships, and the psychological scars that explain why Criston betrayed Rhaenyra during Aegon's coronation. By the end, you'll see how this one act of treachery helped ignite one of the bloodiest civil wars in Westeros history. Who is Ser Criston Cole? Before we get to his betrayal, we need to understand who Criston Cole truly was. Criston was born the son of a steward in Blackhaven, a minor house sworn to House Dondarrion. He was no great lord, no wealthy heir, no dragon rider. And yet, through sheer skill and determination, he rose to become a member of the Kingsguard, one of the most prestigious positions in the realm. Criston's rise wasn't just a story of ambition. It was proof that he was dangerous. He was a man with nothing to lose, except his honor and his oath. He was known for his martial skill, his rigid sense of duty, and his unshakable pride. When Viserys named Rhaenyra as his heir, Criston became her sworn protector. And at first, he was fiercely loyal. The two were close, closer than most princesses and their bodyguards ever were. Rumors even swirled that Criston and Rhaenyra shared more than duty between them. But whether those rumors were true or not, one thing is certain. Ser Criston's loyalty would one day turn to hatred. The bonds between Criston and Rhaenyra. Criston's relationship with Rhaenyra was complicated from the very beginning. As her protector, he became one of the few people she could trust in a court full of vipers. He was steadfast, noble, and above all, hers. But there was always a tension between them. Some accounts from Fire and Blood suggest Criston may have loved her, or at least desired her. Others say that Rhaenyra, headstrong and rebellious, might have teased or even rejected him. If Criston did harbor feelings for her, this rejection could have cut him deeply. Remember, Criston was a man of immense pride. He had risen above his station, and perhaps he believed that loyalty and affection would be rewarded. Instead, as Rhaenyra's life grew more scandalous, with rumors of her affairs with Harwin Strong and others, Criston's perception of her changed. What was once loyalty may have turned into resentment, and that resentment would become a weapon the Greens could use. The political storm. Now, let's talk about the political chessboard. King Viserys had declared Rhaenyra his heir, but that didn't stop Queen Alicent Hightower and her faction, the Greens, from plotting against her. They believed Aegon, Alicent's son, should be king instead. When Viserys died, the realm should have rallied behind Rhaenyra. But instead, Alicent and her father, Otto Hightower, moved quickly. They hid the king's death, locked down the Red Keep, and plotted Aegon's coronation in secret. And here's where Criston Cole comes in. Criston had become disillusioned with Rhaenyra long before Viserys' death. In his eyes, she was no longer the innocent princess he had sworn to protect. She was a reckless, scandal-tainted woman who surrounded herself with questionable allies. Meanwhile, Alicent offered Criston something Rhaenyra never could: respect, order, and a clear sense of purpose. The Hightowers flattered his honor, played to his rigid morality, and painted Rhaenyra as unfit to rule. By the time Viserys died, Criston wasn't just willing to betray Rhaenyra, he was eager to. The Coronation and the Kingmaker. When Otto Hightower and Alicent moved to crown Aegon II, they needed a figure who could legitimize the coup. That figure was Criston Cole. As Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Criston's support meant everything. If the protector of the royal family stood with Aegon, it sent a powerful message to the realm. This is not a coup. This is law and order. And Criston embraced this role fully. He became the man who placed the crown on Aegon's head. He became the Kingmaker. But why did Criston make this choice so easily? Part of it was ambition. Under Rhaenyra, Criston would simply be a Kingsguard, a silent sword. But under Aegon, he became one of the most powerful men in the realm, second only to Otto Hightower and Alicent themselves. Criston traded loyalty for power, and in doing so, he forever changed history. Personal motives behind the betrayal. While politics played a role, Criston's betrayal wasn't just about the throne. It was personal. 1. Resentment of Rhaenyra's rejection. If Criston truly loved her and she rejected him, his pride would never allow him to forgive her. 2. Moral disgust. Criston was a man of strict discipline. Rhaenyra's rumored affairs and defiance of tradition could have disgusted him. 3. Rivalry with Harwin Strong. Harwin Strong's closeness with Rhaenyra may have fueled Criston's jealousy. Harwin was everything Criston wasn't: carefree, favored by Rhaenyra, and rumored to be the father of her children. 4. The Hightower manipulation. Alicent and Otto knew exactly how to manipulate Criston. They didn't just offer him power. They offered him a moral justification for his betrayal. To Criston, siding with Aegon wasn't treason, it was righteousness. These personal wounds, combined with political ambition, turned Criston from Rhaenyra's loyal protector into her deadliest enemy. The aftermath of the betrayal. Criston's betrayal during Aegon's coronation didn't just rob Rhaenyra of her crown, it triggered a civil war. When Rhaenyra learned that Criston had helped crown Aegon, it was a personal and political gut punch. This was not just a war for the throne anymore. It was a war against the man she had once trusted most. Criston became one of Rhaenyra's fiercest opponents during the Dance of the Dragons. He commanded Aegon's armies, executed her allies, and orchestrated some of the most brutal moves of the war. In the end, Criston Cole's betrayal was not just a single act. It was the first domino that toppled the entire realm into chaos. How history remembers him. In the annals of history, Criston Cole is remembered as the Kingmaker, the man who betrayed a princess and crowned a usurper. Some call him a traitor. Others call him a man of principle who chose order over chaos. But perhaps the truth is more complicated. Criston Cole was not merely a villain. He was a man trapped between his pride, his moral code, and his ambition. His betrayal of Rhaenyra was both deeply personal and chillingly calculated. And it is this complexity that makes his story. The true reasons behind the betrayal. Criston's decision changed the fate of the Targaryen dynasty forever. Without his betrayal, Aegon II might never have sat on the Iron Throne, and the Dance of the Dragons might never have consumed Westeros in fire and blood. But in the end, Criston Cole's legacy is not one of honor, it's one of treachery. And it all began on the day he crowned a king who was never meant to rule.